Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment teases a new construct in fresh trailer, still aiming for winter. So I seen that the direct was yesterday, and I was able to actually, tune in and kind of catch what was going on with it. Honestly, there wasn't really anything that really grabbed my interest too much as far as the games and everything like that. It was a third party type of direct that Nintendo did, so you know what I mean. It wasn't anything that's gonna be like first party games or anything like that specifically from Nintendo. But as far as the direct went and everything like that, the only thing that really grabbed my interest was Hyrule Warriors, so Age of Imprisonment. So it was one of those things where I was able to kind of catch the trailer and everything like that. It was pretty short, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything too crazy. And it's something that I am actually really looking forward to in that aspect. Now I don't have a Switch 2, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm still up in the air whether I'm gonna actually be purchasing one or not, just because of the whole not only the price tag, you know what I mean, it is one of those things, but it's mainly the fact that it seems like there is the whole game card thing where it's a little bit iffy as to whether you're actually going to be owning the games itself, because they are going to be having the code through the cartridge itself, which I think is a little bit weird. It's still something I don't quite understand, you know what I mean, especially it's a little bit bad considering that I have a gaming channel and everything like that. But as far as the idea behind it is still a little bit something that I'm trying to kind of get the hang of and kind of figure out. So I'm still gonna be waiting a little bit just to kind of see how that goes. But as far as the games go for the Switch 2, this is probably the only one that's really grabbed my interest so far. Now, I would like to play, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 2, just because it does look like it is better. It does have, more FPS. The graphics seem to be a little bit cleaner and everything like that. So I definitely want to give that a shot when I do get the chance, do the $10 upgrade for each game. But as far as newer games that are being released and everything like that, it seems like Age of Imprisonment is the only one that's really been something that's kind of made me consider actually getting a Switch 2. So, with that being said, the fact that they were able to actually showcase the trailer for it, it did have me a little bit hyped, and it was something that I was looking forward to. So, I figured if, I'm going to be doing, a video on it and everything like that, I would do a reaction to it and just kind of give my thoughts to you guys and everything like that. Now, I've only seen the trailer once, and it was very quick, you know what I mean? Because I did just I was able to catch the beginning of the Nintendo Direct, but I wasn't able to. I had to go to work, kind of a thing. So, I was able to kind of check it out afterwards once I got off of work and everything, came home. And yeah, the like I said, the only thing that really grabbed my interest as far as what was shown for the direct was, the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and check out the trailer here, see what we got, and then I'll let you guys know what my thoughts are as we go along. So I'm just gonna go ahead and zoom in right here, and then we'll see what we got. So
Given
really quick, I'm gonna just rewind it really quick so you can actually see what she has to say. But I just want to start off by saying that I actually do really appreciate the direction that they decided to go in when it came down to what they were going to be doing for the next Hyrule Warriors game. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was really hoping they were gonna make a sequel to Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, because of the fact that it didn't quite match up with Breath of the Wild as far as the timeline goes and everything like that. So I was kind of hoping that they were going to be doing something that would kind of either fix the timeline or kind of even it out, so it could be like, all right, it may not have, necessarily connected to Breath of the Wild, but this is how we're going to kind of have it connect to Tears of the Kingdom. But it doesn't really seem that that's going to be the case with this. I mean, I could be mistaken. It could be one of those things that, this game kind of starts off with, where we left off in Age of Calamity, but it doesn't really necessarily seem like that's going to be the case. But as far as, you know, them going into the past with what Zelda was able to experience and everything like that with her ancestors, I really do like that aspect of it. And I thought it was pretty clever of them to kind of go in that direction as to what they were going to be doing for the follow-up when it came down to Hyrule Warriors. So kudos to them in that regard. I thought that was pretty cool.
Given an opening, he will bare his fangs. Until Hyrule itself is no more.
Be that as it may, we face it together.
Be that as it may, she got booty. But no, but seriously, it is one of those things. Like I said, I really do like the direction that they're going in when it comes down to this game, and I'm a little bit curious as to what exactly it's going to entail. You know what I mean? Because when you do play Tears of the Kingdom and everything like that, it is one of those situations where, you know, it is more into the future, and you know, some of the enemies, the Lionels, the, you know, the I can't remember the dragon's name, but like some of those type of enemies that it did showcase here in the trailer, if it is going to be one of those things where those are going to be the same enemies that we're going to be going after, or if they are going to kind of change it up a little bit, because it is so far into the past that you wouldn't necessarily think that those are going to be the same exact enemies that you're going to be facing as you would in Tears of the Kingdom. But as far as what we're seeing here so far, it does seem like that might be the case. Now, necessarily, I don't think that's a bad thing, but it would be kind of one of those things that would be pretty cool if they are able to kind of give us some new enemies to kind of go after and everything like that, and kind of showcase what would be some of the monsters and creatures and stuff like that, that they would be facing back during that time specifically, as opposed to it just being kind of like the monsters that we know and see on a regular basis when it came down to, let's say, like Breath of the Wild as well as Tears of the Kingdom. See, so you got like the bokoblins and everything like that, so it is going to be pretty similar in that regard. And of course, as you know, you go further along with the trailer and everything like that, I doubt that it'll be the case, but one of the things I'm really hoping for is the chance that we will be able to actually have it so that you can play with Link in this game. Just because I want to be honest with you guys, when it came down to Age of Calamity, Link was always my main go-to character. Link has always been that way in regards to, you know, being able to actually play him as a character when it came down to obviously like the Legend of Zelda games, and when it came down to like Super Smash Brothers. Link has always been my main, and I love, you know, being able to play as him and everything like that. So seeing that there is the slight possibility that we won't be able to have that opportunity in this game, that does have me a little bit worried as well as a little bit skeptical. But I'm kind of hoping that eventually that would be one of the things, because who knows, hopefully they change it. I can't remember off the top of my head the robot that you play as in Age of Calamity, but it would be cool if he actually does end up being in this game where you can kind of time travel and he can bring Link into this world so that you are able to kind of showcase his abilities and everything like that in the past, which I think would be really cool if given that opportunity.
But you sought it from Hyrule of all places? This is madness!
There is danger here. Enormously so.
Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment. So really quick with this part right here. So one of the cool things is I was actually watching a live stream yesterday, and it was from X-Wing and Zeltroid. So if anyone that doesn't know those individuals, if you do have the opportunity to go ahead and check out their channels, I definitely recommend it. Really good dudes. And they were doing a Zelda stream, and they started talking about this little section of this trailer right here, and there were some speculations that there was the possibility that this might actually include Fi. So let's go ahead and hear it really quick. I guess it was one of the noises that was made. So that little sound right there, I guess supposedly it is speculated from fans and everything like that, that there is the possibility that I always thought it was Fee, but apparently it's Phi from Skyward Sword. So the spirit that's inside of the Master Sword itself, that there might be a chance that this might actually be the playable character that you are seeing that's built here and everything like that. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. If so, that I think that'd be pretty interesting to kind of see the direction that they'll be going in that regard. But supposedly that is the possibility that that would be the spirit that's going to be actually controlling this entity right here, which would be pretty cool. Now, as far as the direction goes in that sense, I'm not too sure. It could be speculation, and it is one of those things that it does make it a little bit difficult because of the fact that Hyrule Warriors, from what it seems like as far as what we've gotten in the franchises itself, doesn't necessarily connect to the main timelines of Legend of Zelda. So there is speculation that supposedly this one is going to actually be something that is involved into the timeline, but it's not guaranteed at the moment. Obviously, you know what I mean, with the game being a little bit farther out until we actually get any more information. It is mainly just fan speculation as to what's going to be happening. So if that is the case, I would like to kind of see the direction it's going to be going in. But from my personal opinion, I feel like it's probably going to be going in the sense of like, Hyrule Warriors game Age of Calamity, where it is going to be one of those things where it's not necessarily going to be connected to the main timeline. It'll be kind of like an Elseworlds or, separate timeline in that regard. So that's kind of one of those things you just kind of have to take it a little bit with like a grain of salt and then decide, you know what I mean, once we get some more further information as to where it's going to be going from that point on. But as far as the trailer goes and everything like that, I feel like this is something that, at least for me, myself as a Zelda fan, it does grab my interest, and I am interested to see what's going to be happening with this game itself. Now, it, like I stated earlier, I am a little bit disappointed just because of the fact that it isn't necessarily going to be connected to Hyrule Warriors, because I was really hoping to kind of see what the future installment was going to be connected to when it came down to that game. But with what we're getting right here, I am, still interested. It does have my attention. It does have my interest. So I am going to be, trying to see what we are going to be getting when it comes down to this game. And of course, just hoping for the best. You know what I mean? Because I love the Legend of Zelda series so much, as you guys can probably tell by this point, you know what I mean, with how many videos I've done on the franchise and everything like that. But yeah, when it comes down to this game, I'm just fingers crossed that we're going to be getting something good and something that will leave us satisfied at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So yeah. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you are a Legend of Zelda fan out there, are you looking forward to this game? Does this look like something that you're going to be playing? And what are your thoughts on the fact that, you know what I mean, it seems like it might not be connected to the main timeline, as well as the fact that it might not be connected to Age of Calamity. So if you guys have any fan theories or you guys have any thoughts on the matter itself, if you guys can definitely comment in the comment section, I would greatly appreciate it, because I would like to get your guys' ideas on what's gonna be happening in the future, what you guys are speculating and everything like that. And I would like to have that discussion with you guys as well if I can. So if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching the song, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.